Is the mic still on?
You got Ken and Beezy, Sophie and Mike, feet for a ride. The people wanna know, is the mic still on? I'm saying.
What you got?
A little song. Hold on. Let me pull this shit up. So y'all heard about Dr. Seuss?
Yes, I did.
It was Dr.
I want to
Seuss
find those
weekend, but
books,
school.
man. That's what I've been looking for.
It's been
They
Dr.
didn't ban
Seuss.
Cat in the Hat?
No.
Green eggs and ham?
Well, it was Dr. Seuss week in school this week for dog.
Really? After all
Man,
the
don't
shit
tell
he
me they
got
canceled
through?
green eggs and ham, dog.
Man,
So what
Come on.
happened?
I'm trying to.
I didn't know
pull it
that.
up.
I didn't even know anything was happening. But yeah,
Yeah,
it was
I'll
Dr.
tell you.
Seuss weekend. Like pretty much all the.
Because we got a lot of his books at the house.
Well, it's only 6 books.
Yeah, I know. But
Oh, okay.
I don't know if we have
Fuck
those.
about
I'ma
green eggs and
ask.
ham, man. You know what I'm
It
saying?
ain't green eggs and ham. That one's still
Okay.
fine.
Ugh.
But so the organization that controls his legacy decided to pull 6 books because of racial characterizations.
Mm.
I don't know if y'all even remember those old Dr. Seuss books, but I mean, if you look at them now, it's a little uncomfortable because like it's mostly with Asian people.
Yeah.
Now, Dr. Seuss. Here's the interesting thing about this: Dr. Seuss was an anti-racist type of dude.
Okay.
But during World War II, he had a lot of Asian bias. Like he didn't particularly care for Asian people. So his books, you would see a lot of Asian people caricatured as like the little hats, you know, the little what do you call it, like the little triangle hats, and they'd be like eating rice out of a bowl, and they'd be called Chinamen, that kind of shit. There were also some African characters where it was like the Africans would look like
Sambo.
animals.
Oh.
No, it wasn't the Sambo, but they would just, you know, they'd look like animals, which is something that was fairly common back then because they didn't see us as people; they saw us as animals. But yeah, so they decided to pull 6 of his books, and of course, white people are freaking the fuck out.
Really?
They're losing their goddamn minds because they are saying that the left has canceled Dr. Seuss, which I find funny because just a guess. How many books do you think Dr. Seuss wrote? Just a guess.
50.
You're close, actually. He actually wrote over. Hold on, where's the number? God damn it, I lost it. I think it was like over 60 books. Yes, he wrote over 60 books. They're canceling 6. That's it.
That's it. Yeah, out of
You
60
still got 54 fucking books.
you can enjoy.
The fact that white conservatives are losing their minds over 6 books is hilarious to me. Because when I first saw the headline, it said Dr. Seuss has been canceled. I was like, God damn, what Dr. Seuss do?
And in that mind, it makes you think like, okay, they're getting rid of all the books.
All the books.
You know?
Because I'm 100% against banning books. I don't like the idea.
Yeah.
I think it's archaic and it's just not cool.
Yeah.
So when I was like, okay, they're banning all of Dr. Seuss's books. So then I finally just read the article before saying something, thankfully. And it's like, no, it's 6 of his books.
Yeah.
6. That's it.
Yeah.
But
And from based on what you just said, it's kind of like a good reason of why they banned these 6.
well, yeah, because I mean, I think the idea is these are children's books. These are books that are typically used to teach children how to read.
Right.
So when you have someone that's that young, their minds are still forming and they're learning to read a book based on really fucked up characters of other races. It's just not a good look.
Yeah.
And even Dr. Seuss himself later on came out and was just like, yeah, I regret the anti-Asian sentiment in my books. But these conservatives are not getting that far. They're just like, Dr. Seuss is canceled. It must be the left. Meanwhile, Dr. Seuss himself said he regretted making these books. His own enterprise are the ones saying we're just not going to make any more of these books.
And he said this like before the new, like did they show like him already apologizing about this before this kind of broke?
Well, no, but I mean, he's long gone now. But I mean, you'd have to go back and look at some of his older interviews and things that he's said. But I remember seeing this, that he said he regretted the anti-Asian sentiments that were in his books. The only thing I think is weird is I don't know why they don't just edit those parts out of the books. Like, just take that page out. It's not like it's going to make that much of it. It's not like Dr. Seuss books made any fucking sense anyway.
Right.
So I don't know why they won't just edit.
They make sense.
I mean, they're just weird as fuck. And it's not like there's a central story to his books. Like taking a page out of a Dr. Seuss book, just ripping one out, you're not going to be like, well, damn.
It's not gonna
I'm
throw everything out.
completely lost.
Yeah. It's not gonna throw everything off.
know. I
think
mean,
so?
red fish, blue fish.
Yeah, and if you got to no fish, whatever, green fish, whatever, if they're not there, you're not gonna be like, well, I'm confused now.
Well, it helps kids with colors and stuff. Like,
Right.
but like, I don't know. Like, I feel you could remove something or change. So which did they say which books did they say which 6 books?
I meant to pull up.
I got it. Hold on. It is, and to think that I saw it on Mulberry Street. If I ran the zoo, McElligott's Pool, on Beyond Zebra, Scrambled Egg Super, and the Cat's Quizzer.
Oh yeah.
See, so these are nobody ass books.
Yeah. Come on. Y'all.
Like these conservatives are like, this is a travesty. This is not Bill Burr, Glenn Beck called it fascism. It's like, dude, they did it themselves, and it's only 6 of the books, and it's the books you motherfuckers never read
even read.
anyway.
Right.
So what difference does it make?
Yeah.
But again, he himself did not like these books after they were already released. And it's actually rumored that the book Horton Hears a Who, which I'm sure everybody knows that one.
Yeah.
But that one was about listening to voices that were from people that are normally ignored. He said that was actually based on how he felt about Asians. You know, he went back and talked to Asian folks and was like, I regret doing this. And he wrote Horton Hears a Who to kind of say like, yo, you should listen to people when they're telling you that they're being treated poorly or they feel bad, whatever. But yeah, I mean, I thought that was interesting. You know, I saw it and I saw a lot of people freaking out. It was trending on Twitter and I was like, let me look into this. How are y'all canceling Dr. Seuss? But of course, it's basically a non-issue, man.
Yeah.
Yeah, so that was the thing I was going to ask you. Like, when people say, oh, I regret that, like, it seemed like it's always the go-to. And not that people can't grow and evolve and learn, but when you said that he actually had a conversation and realized, like, the error of his ways, I was like, oh, he was actually sincere. And plus, you know,
Right.
saying that he was
Right.
anti-racist as well, you know, added to that too. But typically when something like happened, they get called out for it. They were like, oh, yeah, I regret my decision, you know, whatever. Kendall actually has the whole library, like his whole library. That's what I was texting Monique to see, but he has the Mulberry joint. And she's driving right now. She can't check to see if he has the other 5. But but yeah,
Some of those books now are selling for $2,000.
I'm gonna read that shit.
Damn.
Because I mean, that's the
I knew
funny
that
thing.
was gonna happen.
White conservatives hear that these books are now being not even necessarily being banned, because you can still get the book at the library or something like that, but they're just not going to make any more of them. But they hear that this book is quote unquote being banned, and they immediately run out to buy it, even though they know it's being banned based on racist caricatures. They're like, no, this is wrong. And it's funny because the only people you see complaining about it, of course, are white people.
Do you think they're gonna take them out of the libraries too, eventually?
Maybe, maybe not. I mean, I don't know.
Ken, is this a stock moment?
It's a what moment?
Stock moment.
No, because
No.
it's probably not going to last.
That's what I'm saying. Like, you would want to. This is a moment where you need to get in on something and then keep an eye on it, and then
Not really. The value is in the books that have been banned. Like, if you have those, you can probably sell those for money. You know, because they're going to be inflated. So that's it.
I'm sure you'll be able to get like bootleg versions of them or something, and you'll be able to
PDFs
download
and
them
shit online.
online.
Yeah, but like, who would want to read that of a Dr. Seuss book? Like, there's plenty of children's books. So if you want to just go get a Dr. Seuss book PDF copy for your kid to read, that's like stupid.
But it's like, why would you specifically want to get that Dr. Seuss book?
Right.
When there are 50-something others. Why would you specifically want to get the one that people are saying is racist? It kind of tells me that maybe you're
This
racist.
is right.
Yeah.
If you're like, no, you're saying that this book is racist. I've never read it before. My kids never read it. But now that you're saying it's racist,
I'm gonna
I need
get
to
it.
run out and get it.
I'm gonna get it.
Why though? Exactly.
It's kind of interesting because comic books have a history of this same shit as well. With the black people being Africans, or
yeah.
they're going over African, the big pronounced lips and cheeks. Same
Bugs
thing
Bunny
with the
did
Asians
that.
with the
Yep.
big teeth and shit like that.
Yep.
And I've always, now that that's happening, you know, in this environment that we're in now, with those comics no longer be available for people to buy, would they stop printing them? They really don't print them now anyway. but like reprints of certain stuff when they do the whole golden age stuff. Because it's bad, man. Like when I'm reading that stuff, I'm like, God dang, man, these motherfuckers just they didn't give any fucks about this shit. So yeah, it's something, man. But
yeah, I mean, all of that stuff is very interesting when it comes to Dr. Seuss, because it's like you'll read one article that will say that he was very much an anti-racist activist especially as far as black people goes. Then you'll read an article later on that will talk about how much he disliked Jews. So it's like, which part do you actually believe? But reading his books, it's very confusing because there are certain ones that do sort of give off this idea of, I don't want to say inclusion because that's a more modern-ish thing, but, acceptance of all different kinds of people. But then, you'll see an article that he's just like, yeah, I don't fuck with Jews. So I don't know, man. It's the whole thing to me is very interesting, but the fact that people are complaining about him being canceled is, I don't know.
And why do you think books shouldn't be banned again?
I don't think anything like that should be banned necessarily. I don't think art should be banned. I just don't think it's progression to just be like, okay, we're gonna burn all these books and then racism goes away. No, that's not the way it works. You can burn books, but ideas are still there.
Right.
So, I mean, as many rednecks as we've run across, they ain't read a book one day in their fucking life, but they're still racist as fuck. So getting rid of the Mein Kampf everywhere is not going to stop people from disliking Jews.
Yeah.
So it's just, it's one of those things that, just because someone that created a piece of art happens to be racist, I don't think that you should destroy the art based on that.
Yeah, I think I kind of lean with you because I don't think that's going to really change anything. No. I think what it does is kind of, it could show progression. It could show how things were back then and how things are now, whether it's being open or, closed or closeted now. But I think you still get a chance to see that it's not as outward before. And sometimes when I read some of those older books, like Uncle Tom's Cabin, right? You just, like when I'm reading this stuff and I'm like, man, they really just kind of just wrote this shit out here like it was nothing. Like it's just kind of, it's just like these motherfuckers didn't really it was the norm. Yeah. And I sometimes just kind of marvel in just how the world was so different and it was kind of not accepted, but tolerated, Yeah. So yeah.
I think it's very dangerous when people pretend that erasing the past is going to somehow affect the future as opposed to confronting the past and dealing with it. Like getting rid of Uncle Tom's Cabin or Huck Finn and that type of shit. What is that supposed to do? So you're just pretending all of this shit didn't happen. I'd rather you acknowledge that it happened, accept that it happened, and then explain why it was bad. Instead of just being like, well, no, we're just going to ignore all of this and pretend it's not there.
Trying to erase history.
Yeah, that's not the way it works.
Right.
Yep. Yeah, like which are kind of, I don't know if they're still doing this, but there was a period where they were trying to, in high school or in college, when they would talk about slavery, they were kind of using different words to describe it. I think sometimes they would call it like indentured servitude. Yeah, shit like that. Like, no, tell the actual fucking truth, because the truth is out there and people are going to hear it one way or the other. It's probably too late for you to kind of change or warp these people's minds into thinking that what they did is bad. Like they've already done a good job of kind of masking how horrendous a lot of the stuff was back then instead of the horrible realities of the world. But changing it won't change what you've done. Right. So
right. Yeah. It still happened. It needs to be acknowledged. But changing the word from slave to indentured servant. How does that benefit anyone?
Right. No. Yeah, it doesn't.
Who asked for this?
Yep. They did to make themselves feel better.
Exactly. Exactly. The people that were actually slaves are not being like, well, can you change the word? No, motherfucker, enhance the word. We were slaves.
Right.
You guys did this.
Right.
Accept it. Teach why it was bad, and then we can move on. But you're not even acknowledging it. You're just acting like it wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah.
Because most kids aren't going to know what indentured servitude is, but they know what slave is. So what are we doing here?
Yep.